Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about all the books that I read for the month of September. For the month of September, I read a total of 5 books, a total of 2,029 pages, and my average rating for this month was 4.5. Even though I only read 5 books, my last book was super chunky. It was literally almost 800 pages, 50 pages away from that. And so I'm feeling really proud of my page count, and I'm feeling really proud of all the books that I read this month because all of them, I'd like to say, were really good books. Let's talk about the first book that I read. I started off the month strong by reading Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I did a vlog on this where I read cozy books for the fall season. I will link it down below, and I just have to tell you, if you haven't read this book already, you need to. This book was so good. It was beautiful. I gave this book a 5-star. I'm not gonna go into a lot of the details because in my vlog I specifically explain why it has become one of my all-time favorite books of the year. I just love this so much. And if you didn't know what this book is about, this book is a fantasy romance. It follows Iris and Roman, who are 2 journalists working for the same company. Iris's brother goes off to the war and she hasn't heard from him for 6 months, so she decides she would write him letters back and forth to try to communicate with him. At first, Iris thinks that she's communicating with her brother, but luckily does she know that she's actually communicating with Roman, who happens to be her co-worker and also her work rival. They communicate through this magical typewriter where they write letters to each other and slip them under the door, and then the other person gets it. And it's so magical. It's so beautifully written. There's so much connection within these 2 characters, and it's just so beautiful. Not to mention, the gods back then have awoken. They are literally about to go to war, so it is a historical fiction. It takes place during the war, and it's just so good, you guys. It's so magical. It's such a great book. I will never stop recommending this book because it did that much to me. It brought out so many emotions in me, and it was just such a beautiful read. I highly recommend it. Next book on my list was a cozy mystery, and that would be Murder by the Book, a beyond the page bookstore mystery by Lauren Elliott. I gave this book a 3-star because it literally gave me everything I was looking for in a cozy mystery. It was cheesy. It wasn't really heavy on anything. I was just here for the ride. It was a great time, and I really enjoyed it. I'd say give it a try if you're wanting to read a cozy mystery that has all the fall and autumn feelings and vibes that you're looking for. It has murder in it, but it's also done in a corny, quirky way. I enjoyed it. It's set in a bookstore. Anything that's set in a bookstore, I'm already gonna read it no matter what it is because I just love books about books or books that are set in bookstores. This book follows Addie, who leaves the big city and moves into a small town after the mysterious murder of her fiance and her father's fatal car accident. So she lost 2 important people in her life. She gets up and she moves to a small town. After inheriting her aunt's inheritance, she moves into her great aunt's Victorian mansion in New England, literally overlooking the harbor. So she moves into the small town and she decides to open up her own bookstore. One day, she almost gets run over by a car. Her friend Serena, who owned the tea shop next door to her bookstore, gets accused of murdering somebody. It's her trying to solve the mystery. It gave me the fall vibes. It gave me the cozy mystery feelings. It's set around the fall season. It's perfect. The setting of this book is perfect, especially if you're looking for something like that. Literally the first couple of sentences or the first sentence of this book is, Addison Grayborn breathed in the intoxicating sense of tangy sea air and New England autumn leaves, infused with the comforting aroma of fresh baked bread. I mean, if that doesn't reel you in and make you feel like you're there experiencing the fall with her, I don't know what does. Gave this book a 3-star. It was a fun time. I still recommend it. It was fun. The next book on my list is another book that I'm going to add to favorite books of all time, and that would be Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I mean, most of you have probably already read this book. I only regret not reading it sooner when it came out. I think it came out last year. It came out 2022. So yeah, last year, came out last year. And I had such a great time reading this book. It was cozy, it was comforting, it was so good. I loved it. During my cozy reading vlog, this book was also included in there. So again, I have that link down below if you guys want to check out my reactions and all my thoughts and opinions on this book. I loved it so much. I ended up pairing it with the audio version of it because the author himself reads it. I loved it. I loved the experience that this book gave me. I gave this this book a 5-star. Such a great book. And if you didn't know what this book is about an orc named Viv who wants to be done with a bloodbath of battles, puts away her sword because she wants to open up a coffee shop. So she does that. She moves into a small town. She opens up her own coffee shop, and the book is basically about her trying to figure out how to make coffee, how to make cinnamon rolls, how to hire the correct people. She meets friends along the way. The baker is this cute, I think he's a rat, but this cute rat, and his name is Thimble. It's just so magical and so good. It makes me want to visit this coffee shop so much. The best part about this is that in this small town, nobody knows what coffee is. Nobody knows what a cinnamon roll is. Nobody knows what a scone is. And they are all figuring it out together and introducing it to their customers. I just love this book so much. It was so good. I can't wait for the next book to come out. I think it comes out in November. I think it's called Bookshops and Bone Dusts, but I can't wait to read that one. It's going to be so fun. It's perfect. It's perfect for September. It's perfect for the beginning of fall. I had no complaints. I enjoyed this book so much. Highly, highly recommend. The next book I read in that vlog would be The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Madonna. Now, I have mixed feelings about this book. I didn't hate it. Didn't necessarily give it a 5-star. I'm leaning towards a 3.5 because if I could describe this book to you in one word, that would be sweet. This book was very sweet, and at times it was very comforting. Honestly, after reading Legends and Lattes, I wish I would have read this book first because I did enjoy it, but I did not enjoy it and I didn't get the same feelings as I got with Legends and Lattes. So that's a bummer because this book is super hyped. I was expecting to get that 5-star feeling with it, but unfortunately I didn't because I just feel like there was a lot of dialogue. Not a lot of things were happening. That's pretty much why I'm giving it a 3.5. I just don't feel like I enjoyed it enough for it to be a 4, but I didn't hate it. I still did enjoy it. This book follows Mika Moon. I love her name, by the way, Mika Moon. And Mika is a witch. She is a witch who pretends to be a witch online so that she can be a witch because being a witch in this town is not really glorified. It doesn't exist. People don't believe in it. In order to be herself, she fakes being a witch online. She gets contacted by an older gentleman who asks her if she can teach these 3 orphaned little girls on how to use their magic and how to be witches because they are discovering their powers and they don't know how to handle it. She ends up moving into this Victorian house called the Nowhere House, and there she meets a few friendly and bubbly characters. She meets the grumpy librarian. That's what essentially the book is about. There is a little bit of romance in there. There is found family, and the characters are just really good. There's something about this book that I felt like something was missing, or there was too much dialogue, or there was too many slow moments in this book that just didn't give me that same feeling. Overall though, I still recommend it. I still thought it was a great book. It was a sweet, great, cozy book. The last book I read for the month of September is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. I completed at least the last installment of this series. I know and I've heard there's going to be a 6th and possibly a 7th book, which I'm so excited about because I love the way this book ended. I was happy with the ending. However, I did feel like it did not feel like the very, very last book of the series. I felt like I needed more books and I felt like more characters needed more books in the series. So I'm not going to talk about what this one's about because it will give out spoilers. I did do a non-spoiler reading vlog dedicated to this book alone, and in there, without spoiling anything, I talked about my feelings, my emotions, my reactions, and my opinions on this whole series as a whole. This series to me has changed my life so much and has made me fall in love to fantasy. I can never express enough, and words can never explain or express how much this series means to me and what this series has done to me. So it's no brainer that I gave this book a 5-star. I gave the entire series a 5-star, honestly. The ups, the downs, the slow moments, I enjoyed everything about this series. And I love Sarah J Maas as an author. I love her writing. I love the way she introduces her magic, her characters, the beautiful descriptions of the world, the magic system. She to me is so brilliant that she creates these magical, whimsical, beautiful worlds and stories that I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm a huge fan of Sarah J Maas now, and I'm happy to say that I will be continuing the rest of her series. I'm gonna be reading Throne of Glass next, and then Crescent City, and I'm so excited about those. So there you have it, guys. That is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you on my next one. Bye!